An Unconventional Threesome is a comedy podcast hosted by three rude, crude, and tattooed dudes. We tell you this so you can shield your children's eyes and cover their ears. If you don't, we're not responsible for the fun and exciting new words that they'll start using. Enjoy.
Welcome to the show, yeah, it's a blast. Turn the volume up, we got to laugh. Every joke's a hit, you'll have a fit. Sit back, relax, let's start this bit. Tuned in live from the internet's heart, where every word is a work of art. Comedy gold, it never gets old. Jump aboard, let the fun unfold.
Welcome to Unconventional Threesome, a conversation podcast that is hosted by three dudes. I'm doing that again. Welcome to an Unconventional Threesome. Welcome to an Unconventional Threesome, a conversation podcast that is hosted by three dudes who have no business having a podcast. My name is John, and I am your master of disaster. And to answer your question, I'm doing the whole podcast in this voice.
This is D Money, and I'm about to log off because I can't listen to Yoda and that big guy.
I guess Jay's going to stay to be part of the sexy appeal because D-Money's leaving. And otherwise, I'm here so I won't get fined. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I understand you have a story for us about your little trip up north.
Yeah, so almost got stuck in Canada. Well, I don't know if I almost got stuck, but I thought I was gonna get stuck. So I went up last Friday. So I play this card game, One Piece. Any nerds that listen, they'll know what that is. But
To me, that means a bathing suit.
I was about to say it's the same kind of bathing suit he uses at the beach.
yes, a lot of Speedos.
Damn it.
But so we went up to Canada on Friday, and I told you guys all these issues I was having with my passport, trying to fucking get it in time and whatever. So finally I get it. Go up Friday. Life is good. We get up there, we're going to Montreal. Which if you haven't been, it's pretty cool. It's like a European Boston. Like, just imagine Boston.
But in Europe.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. So, we were walking around for a while. We went to the dispensary. Like, there you can just smoke while you're walking around, which I thought was crazy. That was pretty cool.
Which also makes it like Boston.
Yeah, I didn't know if you could do that down in Boston. I've seen people do it, but I don't know if you were like supposed to be doing it. But so yeah, we're just chilling, we're walking around, and then we go back to the hotel, and then my buddy's like, "Hey, like let's go, I don't know, grab a drink, and then we'll come back and we'll play a couple games." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I get up, and like we were walking, and so I'm laying down on the bed, and I get up, can't find my wallet. I said, "Oh, that's not good." Because I had not like the regular passport, just the card. And I put it in my wallet. I said, I'm not going to lose my wallet. I don't want to lose my passport. So I start freaking out because, again, my driver's license and my passport are in there. I'm in Canada. So I'm thinking I'm not getting home. So my buddy John and I were running up and down the street, like, because we took this really sketchy path to find this convenience store that did not exist, by the way. For some reason, it was on Google, but not in the real world. And so we're like walking the path back and forth, and I'm freaking the fuck. Like, I threw up because I was so scared. I'm like, I've seen Locked Up Abroad, so I just thought it was going to be like that. Slightly more maple syrup, though.
They use it as lube up there.
Exactly.
Why would they lock up abroad? What does that have to do with anything?
It's a sexy appeal.
Exactly.
Continue, D.
But I'm looking online, and it's like, oh, if you lose your passport while traveling, like you need to call. First off, you need to call the police and make a police report, and then call the embassy. Well, here's the issue, boys.
They're not open on the weekends.
The embassy is as fucking useful as the goddamn post office. They're only open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to like 8:02 a.m. Like, not convenient whatsoever. And I'm supposed to be coming home Saturday, like the next day. We were only going out for one night and coming right back. So I'm freaking the fuck out. And so I call the Montreal police. And so first off,
Please tell me the answer to the phone in French.
they did. And I said, English?
No
And
habla.
she's like, yes, what can I do for you? And I said, I'm an American. I lost my passport. The internet tells me I'm supposed to call and make a police report. I was like, I had my passport in my wallet and I lost my wallet or it got stolen. Because there was a lot of sketchy people walking around Montreal. Like I said, it's like Boston. And so she's like, you lost your wallet and you want to make a police report? So first off, rude. Okay. Yes, I do want to make a police report. The internet tells me I'm supposed to.
Real fuck you vibes.
Yeah. And then she's like, all right.
After you were so pleasant to start off with by just going, English, I'm an American.
I asked. I didn't demand. But then she's like, all right, let me transfer you. So she transfers me to someone else. And he goes, what can I help you with? I was like,
Lost wallet unit. This is Cletus.
so I said, I'm an American. I lost my passport. The internet says I'm supposed to make a police report. Help. And then he's like, okay, well, where were you? Brother, I just said I'm an American. I don't know where I am. So, like, I'm looking on the Jeep, like, I'm looking on the maps. Of course, everything is in French. And so, like, I don't know how to tell him that. And so he's like, okay, are you available to talk to someone? I was like, yeah, like, I'm just at the hotel, like, not really doing nothing else, big guy. And he's like, okay, I'm going to send someone over to you. I'm like, cool. I'm going to be down in the lobby. Now, granted, this was like 10:30 at night, right? So I'm down there. I'm waiting. During this time, my friend John and Pat, who fucking superheroes, by the way, if they're listening, and I'm sure they're not because they're assholes, they are absolute fucking heroes. Love those guys. But they go out and they go through the sketchy path again, just to, give it another once over. And they come back, nothing. And so, like, at this point, it's like 11 and no police officers have shown up. I'm like, cool, I'm just gonna go upstairs. I was fucking exhausted. So I tell the front desk, I'm like, listen, the police are gonna come here. They're gonna be looking for me. First off, they looked very concerned when I told them that. They're like, the police? I said, I said, I'm an American. I lost my passport. The internet says I need help. So they're like, all right, yeah, no problem. We know what room you're in. So I go upstairs. I fall asleep. I get a call on the room phone at like 2:00 in the morning.
Jesus.
It was the fucking Montreal police saying if I wanted to make a police report, I needed to go down to the station.
Oh.
And then they gave me their address.
In French?
No. And so, like, I wrote it down on the little notepad I had next to me. I didn't really actually remember the conversation because the next day my friends were like, hey, who called? And I was telling them, like, I think it was the police, and I think they said I needed to go to the police station, but I don't remember. I was half asleep. It was 2:00 in the fucking morning. And then my friend Pat was like, yeah, because the address that you wrote down is the police department. So that makes sense. So I didn't go to the police station because the next day we had the card event. And I wasn't going to, hold my friends hostage from doing what we went up there to. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll cry. I'll give some border patrol a handy. I'll use my mouth if need be. I'm going to beg to get into this country. And then, I was talking with my beautiful, beautiful, amazing wife. And we came up with the idea that she would meet me at the border with my birth certificate, social security card, our marriage license, like just a bunch of paperwork saying I'm American citizen, which again, she is an absolute saint and angel and also my hero for that.
But also at the same time, she didn't have any level of photo ID for you.
No. And well, she sent me a picture of my license that I sent to her a while ago. Which comes to find out they don't fucking care about at the border, by the way. And so, we kind of planned it so by the time we got to the border, she would get there too with all the paperwork. We got there like 20 minutes before she did, and we were explaining to the guy, and at first I'm like, I have a picture of my driver's license. He's like, no, we don't do that here. This is the actual government. And so like I explained it to him. He looked up my name and my date of birth, and he's like, all right, you're good to go. So I didn't have to use my mouth in that way. And I did get back into the country, and then here's the fucking craziest part. So it's a 3-hour drive from where I live over to the border. My wife and I are coming home. No lie, we are pulling into the driveway, and someone with a Montreal phone number calls her, and it shows up on her caller ID. And she answers it, and she goes, hello? And they go, hi, is this blank? And she goes, yeah. And then they go, are you related to D Money? They actually use my government name. And then she goes, yeah, it's my husband. And he goes, well, I found his wallet.
Shut the fuck up.
Yup. So this was Joseph. Okay, so Joseph and his roommate Aiden, which again, Joseph and Aiden, if you guys are listening to this, which I'm sure you are, you guys are also saints. So they're like, yeah, we found the wallet, the password's in there. We will, what do you want us to do with it? And I'm like, well, can you mail it to me? I will Venmo you whatever it costs to just like, can you just send it to me? Well, first off, they asked if I could drive to like Syracuse, New York. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
The answer should have been yes. I'm turning the fuck around right now to reclaim my identity.
Well, no, because I would have to wait till like May 5th. Because they were driving down to New York then. And so I was like, can you just mail it to me? I was like, I will pay you. So you don't have to, like, nothing's coming out of your pocket. And then Monday, Aiden, he goes to the post office. And because I had cash in my wallet, which also, this is how you know these people are saints. Because I still had the cash in my wallet.
Wow.
The post office couldn't send it because I had cash in it. And so Aiden went to the police department seeing if they could help. They just said they were going to take the wallet and destroy it. So he said, you probably don't want to do that. I said, no. No, I do not. So I was like, just use the cash that's in the wallet to pay for it. Write your name, your like address, and put it in a piece of paper and put that into the wallet. And I'm going to mail you like a reward. Like, I wanted to do something. Like, there was no reason for these people to be as nice as they were.
How much cash did you have in the wallet?
Like a whopping $15.
Probably taking care of shipping.
Yeah, it did. And Aiden was like, no, don't worry about it. Like, I just want to make sure it gets to you. I'm like, oh, I would have used my mouth to say thank you too. But yeah, so Aiden mailed it on Monday. He sent me a picture of the package. I don't know when I'm supposed to get it. So yeah, Ironically, it's going to my old apartment because they couldn't find my new address for some reason, even though I'm 2 streets over and it's the same zip code and everything. Yeah, so I had to text my old landlord and say, "Hey, I have something very important coming there. Can you please let me know?"
It's methamphetamine.
So, D, how did you lose your wallet?
I do not know. Um, I don't know. I don't know. We thought I got pickpocketed because, like I said, there was a lot of people walking around. It was really busy, and my wallet was in my back pocket, and so
So, what have we learned?
I need a crossbody. I need a fanny pack
Fanny
or
pack.
something.
Wallet chains.
Yeah, wallet chains. No shit. 3 days before we went, I texted my buddy John. I said, "Dude, I think I want to get a crossbody so I don't lose my shit at the card at the tournament." And I fucking lose my wallet. Yeah, so hopefully I will be getting my wallet here soon in a couple days. But I just thought that was fucking crazy. I have issues getting my passport to get into Canada. I fucking lose my passport and my ID. Almost can't get out of Canada. And then I have French saints who find it and are going to mail it to me. So
And your former landlord is going to steal your fucking identity and never give you that package.
I hope not. That would be a real bummer.
I hope not too, but can you imagine out of this entire story, the thing literally gets 600 linear feet from you and then you get fucked?
Yeah, you know what? I know where they live though, so
Well, something similar happened to me, except I was in the great United States. I hadn't crossed any major borders, but I was also with a bunch of guys. We were out on the town. We were just going to spend a Saturday into Sunday type thing, and we get into downtown where there's a bunch of bars, and we were just going to go bar hopping and shit like that. It's around Christmas time. They had just done their Christmas lighting ceremony, tree lighting ceremony in downtown. And so it was a bit crowded, but it was a gorgeous night. It was like, mid 40s, crazy for December. And we take an Uber from the hotel to downtown, and I get out of the Uber, they pull away, and I go to grab my wallet, and it's not there. I'm like, fuck, did I lose it in the Uber? Did I lose it in the street getting out of the Uber? We walked up and down the street for a while. I'm like, you know what? It is what it is at this point. Someone's gonna have to cover my ass for the night. I'll, hotel room's taken care of. I'll take care of that because I don't need my wallet for that. And you guys just pay for my night, basically, which is pretty much how we handled it. But come to find out, I left it in the hotel room. Thank God it was still there. But unfortunately, all of our room keys were in my wallet because I felt the need to have two of them and not disperse them. And so we had to wake up the owner of the hotel to get our asses back into the room, unfortunately.
And now I'm paranoid about losing my wallet.
Jay, you going to get a crossbody?
oh my god, I would pay to see Jay wear a crossbody.
I do have one of those internal concealment fanny pack doohickeys for when you're traveling abroad, for example. Yeah. Maybe I'll just use that.
And I was so cautious. I was like every 5
Apparently
minutes.
not.
Well, yeah. Apparently, I wasn't cautious enough. But I was fucking doing the 1, 2, 3 taps. Making sure, boom, phone in my pocket, zins and my pre-rolls in one pocket, and then my wallet in my other. I was constantly just checking because I don't trust nobody. And then I still fucking lose my shit.
I feel like you're not allowed to be around people or public or out of your own little bubble at this point.
My wife lets me leave the country one time, and I almost can't get back in.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm glad it appears to be ironing itself out.
Yeah, because I also the embassy has an emergency phone line. I don't think they truly understand what the word emergency means.
It's Canada. There's no such thing as emergencies up there.
Did you try yelling, "I'm an American"?
I didn't have to. This was this is the United States Embassy. And so I called, and of course, like I said, they were only open Monday through Friday, blah, blah, blah. So I called the emergency line, and then she's like, yeah, so, and she was just reading shit off the screen or whatever. She's like, all right, so you lost your passport, you're traveling, you're going to have to you have to make a police report, you're going to have to go to the embassy, you're going to have to apply for an emergency passport, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm supposed to be leaving tomorrow. I don't have any money. I can't do that. And then she's like, oh. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? She's like, well, are you driving or flying? I'm like, driving. She's like, well, okay, so driving. It says, so it's like, I don't know, someone can try to explain the situation to the Border Patrol.
And hope for the best.
Yeah, at that point, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to use my mouth. I'm like, all right, thanks for nothing. Yeah, so, because my thought was, I don't have my wallet, which means I don't have my ID, I don't have my passport, I don't have my cards, so I can't pay for shit. I already had to mooch off my friends for a little bit, which kills me on the inside. And then, like, I don't have a car, so how am I supposed to travel throughout Canada without money, without a car? And I would have to, like, beg my friends that, hey, you want to stay in Canada with me? And so, like, I was thinking I was going to stay in Canada for, like, another week or something.
Well, after you gave us the brief synopsis to this story in the group chat, I immediately went and downloaded only one of my credit cards onto my phone into, like, my Google Wallet, just so I can have it just in case some shit goes down.
Yep. And I have mine on there, but I locked my phone because I didn't know if anyone was going to be using that.
Right.
But you know what's the fucking funniest shit is, so the three of us, we were texting, and I said I was in Canada, and Jay even said, hold on, I'm looking at it. Hold on. Oh, I said, Jay, I'm in Canada right now. It's really nice. Think I might want to move here. He said, D buddy, you're on the wrong side of Canada, but I'm glad your passport works. And then you said he still has to get back. And then Jay said, rescue mission. I texted, I said, I'm good, not so bad here. But that text never went through. And then I fucking lost my shit. And that's why when you guys were texting, I wasn't responding because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get back into the country. And I was paranoid.
Too busy throwing up.
Yeah. But the fact that Jay said rescue mission and I might have needed to be rescued.
By the way, I have contacted ICE and they're on their way to your apartment, but they can't find it, so they're going to your old apartment.
All I gotta
Thank
say
God.
is our border security is shit if he got back in.
I said pretty please. He said, that's good enough for me. Bro, I have my tweet ready for Trump and everything. Mr. President, they won't let me back in. Please come help me.
Me llamo de Monet or de Dinero. Please let me in.
I'm glad it worked out, man.
Well, if you guys haven't gathered, this is a podcast where three dudes just sit around and talk with each other about nothing in particular. I'm kind of glad we let off with that story, though, because that was brilliant. I loved every second of it.
And it has to be experienced. D has to be experienced. So for those of us who know him, we can just picture him just
dawdling around.
Well, John, I'm trying to find a word that you won't have to edit out later because it's, not
Too
PC
vulgar.
anymore. Yeah, just
I think
Good
dawdle
God.
works.
that's not as funny as the shit I would have said, but yeah, we'll use it. Yeah, just the image is. I'm still laughing because I can just I can see you on the phone. Hi, I'm an American. That's how you started. And when you're talking to the desk at the hotel, so the police are coming for me. Not even starting with, hey, I lost my wallet. I called the police. They're supposed to be coming. Just the police are looking for me. Okay.
Well, at that point, I had already told like 3 different fucking people at the front desk, "Hey, I lost my wallet. Can you please keep an eye out if anyone returns it?" Like, I already told a bunch of people.
But had you told that person though?
No, I
See
just
that
went straight with the cops are coming.
Well, did you lead off with "I'm an American"?
No, they probably knew.
just by looking at your dumbass, they knew.
I was wearing my jersey that is the Batman symbol mixed with the Patriots logo, so I think they knew what was going on.
Why the fuck did we let you back into this country?
Interesting choice for Canada.
Ugh. Good Lord. Alrighty.
You guys want to talk about bathroom stalls right quick?
Yeah, we can get some bathroom stalls in. Sure.
It was originally planned to talk about this last week, but pre-show we decided to save this for when D had returned from his ventures up north. So in the United States, and I don't know if it's like this in Canada, our world traveler here can tell us if it is, but A, bathroom stalls are too small. 2, why the fuck don't the doors go all the way to the floor? 3, why in God's name do we still have the little cracks on them? And 4, why is it so difficult when you lock it to have a little thing that flips over that says occupied instead of me pulling on the fucking door to see if it's fucking locked and it just... What the fuck?
Almost all of those are exclusively American. The stall doors go higher and lower almost everywhere else.
In in my home country of Canada, they seemed very similar to here. Like I didn't notice anything different.
Did you just drag the trash can over and shit in it, or did you actually use the stall?
No, I did use the stall a couple times. But yeah, I do hate those stalls that have like the big ass crack in the door.
Yeah, it's the one eye contact if someone's walking by, like, hey, yeah, I'm dropping a deuce in here. You like that? Now you know what I look like. As you expected, I'm a big bearded dude, and that's why it smells like absolute shit in here. And I need myself some Papa's prostate patchouli.
Great sponsor, by the way.
So you'll laugh at this one. I do have a bathroom stall story. I can't believe I haven't told you guys this one yet. It happened probably 2 years ago. So I was doing what most normal people do, using the bathroom stall. And some father came in with his crotch gremlin. And apparently he doesn't know how to wrangle his crotch gremlin. So while he was using the urinal, his son was kind of spelunking into the stalls. So he kind of like literally poked his head under while I was in there. And you know me, I'm so good around the children. My response,
If there was one person I would not want my kids to poke in on while taking a dump, it is Jay.
Hi, mister. Hi, sir.
yeah, just looked up and I said, "Can I fucking help you?" Kid was probably 3 or 4. Dad goes, "Hey, nice language." I said, "Hey, nice fucking kid." I said, "Can you have you?" It's like lesson number 1: don't look under the fucking stalls in the bathroom. If you don't like it, maybe you shouldn't watch me shit. It was an interesting exchange.
I don't understand how like they could let their kid just walk around. Like I'm so paranoid. Like my kid's got to come into the stall with me, or using that big handicapped one. It's a party. I'm not letting my kids out of my sight.
Well, a lot of parents out there, for whatever reason, believe their kids have the right to do whatever they want, including, um, you know, trying to get me on an offender fucking registry if the wrong person walked in.
Your peepee's bigger than mine, sir.
You know he'd be lying.
But we're almost the same size. So,
Ugh.
yeah, anyways, locks on the bathroom doors, they should definitely be like a green-red situation. And the reason for this, I had training a few weeks ago with work, and the bathroom closest to the training room, there's one stall and one urinal. And there was a group of like 20, mostly dudes. And so every time around break time, I'd go in there and someone's at the urinal, and then I'd have to go on the fucking stall. And of course, every goddamn time someone was fucking in there, and I just pure anxiety attack.
See, here's my thing. Like, first off, if the doors, I feel like for most stalls, if the doors shut, someone's in there because it's locked. I feel like most of the time, if they're empty, the door's slightly ajar.
It depends on the quality of the stall, because you're starting to get the heavier duty particle board almost looking stalls versus the hollow aluminum ones that, you know, you could bend the door just by breathing on it too hard. So yeah, I agree. The aluminum ones are typically ajar, but a lot of these quote unquote nicer looking ones, they shut all the time.
Yeah. See, that's why you gotta, instead of grabbing the handle and just shaking it like that Eric Andre meme, like let me in. You just put your hand on it, you press. If it doesn't go in, you just move on. You don't.
Well, and you can rarely tell if it's a push or pull.
Can't you see the feet in the giant
That is true.
space there?
That is true.
Not always, because that particular stall that I would always bang on basically was also a double utilization for a handicap stall because there were no other stalls in there. So the toilet's buried in behind the guy taking a piss in the urinal. I'm not going to stick my head underneath his legs and see if there's tootsies under there.
Well, see, the other thing is you're tall enough. You could just peek over and be like, "Hey, you pooping?" We always talk about bathrooms and poopy. We are just, I don't know.
We have not overgrown children.
We have not evolved at all.
Well, it brings me to the next topic. What is your guys' toilet paper of choice? And it doesn't even have to be a brand. It can just be a ply, a type.
It's basically the Scott single ply 80 grit, good for your septic system.
Oh my god.
Belt sander paper.
Oh,
the fun part about that toilet paper is they have it built in that it turns red when you're done wiping.
Yeah. It's kind of like that beer can where the mountains turn blue. When you're done wiping, it turns red. Yeah.
boys, no. I have so much PTSD from that fucking toilet paper because my friend John, his parents only bought that. That's the only because of that. Their septic would always get backed up if they use even like 1.5 plies. So it always had to be that because that Scotch toilet paper reminds me of, you know, that paper that is on the examining table thing that you go to at the doctor's. That's what you're wiping your ass with.
Pretty much.
That is it's so bad because you go to wipe and then you're giving yourself a prostate exam because your fingers are poking through.
No, you're just gonna fold it like 4 times.
No.
It's the fourfold. You take out approximately 16 squares, fold it 4 times. Now you're left with 4. One wipe, and then depending on texture, maybe an additional bonus wipe. Then you roll out another like 10.
Well, you're wiping with one. Hold on, with one wad, you're wiping multiple times.
3 times.
Oh my golly!
Fold it again, you fucking animal.
Absolutely not. I want at least amount of time near that fecal matter. I am going in, I am wiping into the toilet. I'm not taking it out, folding it into a napkin, and then going for no. Absolutely you're vile.
You shit in a trash can.
That seems more civilized.
It's not.
Wait, so do you ball yours up?
No, sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm a baller. Shot caller.
Fucking 5?
No, sometimes I'm a folder. I was a baller for a long time. back in my youth. No, but yeah, I fold. I get one wipe and I put it in the toilet like a fucking true American. Okay, I'm using all the toilet paper, but my toilet
No,
paper's
you're
got
not. You're not using it to its full capacity, and that's why you're broke. And we have to do this podcast for $0.
Well, if we get more sponsors, maybe we can start making buku bucks on this.
Well, we lost Canada. Thanks, fucker.
So I Googled, are you supposed to fold the toilet paper?
Don't listen to Google.
While not explicitly required, how the fuck would you enforce that? Folding the toilet paper is a popular method, particularly in hotels, to signal that the bathroom has been cleaned. Oh, that just means folding for fancy. Potential for better coverage. Folding can create a larger, more absorbent surface area than just using a single sheet. Yeah, no shit. This is stupid. I hate Google.
Lost another one.
Some people find folded sheets easier to grip and use compared to scrunching. Have you guys ever been in the situation where you're standing there holding that toilet paper in its folded form, thinking, my hands are really dry right now and could just slide right off this toilet paper and give myself a prostate exam? Or is that just me?
It is
That's
a fear every wipe, brother. It is a fear every wipe.
So what's your solution to get better grip?
A little pray, but then also before, like so here's what happens. I go in, first contact. Feel like first contact, you can tell if your hand's gonna slip or not. So you just gotta kind of maneuver your hand onto a better position.
Well, let me shatter your world, but you give it a little
Don't say it.
I don't lick my fucking fingers, but you get a little dampness on them from, orifices. And then you can typically get better grip.
I'm not licking my fingers while I am in the bathroom.
I said I don't lick my fingers, but you just give your a close proximity raspberry and sound like a crazy person in the stall.
Oh, good lord.
Can you imagine walking in on that shit? Someone just...
I've heard some people say that, oh, you know who it is? Bert Kreischer.
The Alabama wet wipe?
Yes. He spits on the toilet paper before he... Oh my God, I want to throw up just thinking about it.
Oh God, we got to get better material, but this is funny.
This is what the people want.
I'm not sure about that part, but yeah, we'll go with it.
So D, you're into like the pillowy, soft, quilted northern pansy paper?
If my booty had a choice, it would always be Angel Soft. So if Angel Soft, if you're listening, which I know you are because you're probably a big fan, we would like a sponsor. I love Angel Soft.
But not bougie enough for Charmin?
No. And really, Angel Soft, so like my dad and my stepmom, that's usually what they buy. They're bougie. They buy name brand. I only buy like store brand. But it is a pleasure going up to their house to take a fat shit because then I can use name brand Angel Soft, and it's just delightful.
Do you ever just like swipe a roll or two, throw them in your cargo short pocket, put your anime frickin' jersey on over it, and say, "All right, Dad, later," and then like you can get a couple of weeks out of it at home?
Probably should have.
Well, I ran into a situation tonight where I had approximately 6 squares left, and that was not enough. And I go to reach behind me for the shelf that we store it all on, and lo and behold, there's none there. So we have a couple emergency rolls underneath the sink, which is tucked in a very tight corner. So I had to dawdle my way, pants around the ankles to try and... Oh, and by the way, we store it in the back, so it's approximately 3.5 feet to the back of the... cabinet, and yep, just ass in the air, just praying for...
See, that's, if I feel like a lot of parents would understand this. That's like a blessing about having wipes on hand, because many times have run out of toilet paper, but I do have wipes. So I'm able to at least get clean.
Probably could have used my wife's makeup remover, but it probably would have stung a little bit.
Ooh, yeah. And don't do that. That shit's expensive.
Ain't mine. I don't pay for it.
Oh, and speaking of your beautiful wife, she is an absolute saint. I love her. Thank you so much, MK, for joining last week. It's always great listening to the episode she's on. She's so sweet. It's such a nice change of pace between you two fucks.
The only variable is you, amigo.
Right. So far, anyways.
Listen, compared to me, she's still an absolute saint. So.
No argument there, man. No argument there.
Well, and not only does she fill in when necessary, but she's also the first one to listen to it after I get done editing it. So she is like chief editing assistant, I guess. I don't know. But she does a lot for this podcast, and I cannot thank her enough for that.
MK deserves a raise.
Yeah, everyone does.
Or at least don't clean your asshole with her makeup remover. That would be a good start.
Yes.
Hey, at least I'm not using the makeup brush, right? That'd be a hard explanation on pink eye.
Oh, shit.
Well, fuck. I think that's we only got 3 topics in. That was a solid episode. So I think it's a good stopping spot, because quite frankly, I'm quite sick of editing hour-long podcasts. As you can tell, we have no sponsor this week because I couldn't find a good spot to put it in. But thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed yourself as much as we have. My face hurts from laughing so much. If you have something you want to discuss, you can email us at D. What's the email?
An unconventional threesome at gmail.com.
Well done. He passed.
Yeah.
Wow. You can email it there, or you can text the podcast through most platforms. There's a little button at the top of the episode description that just allows you to text us. And if you're enjoying the podcast, as I've said before, word of mouth is the best way to spread this one. We don't pay for advertising in any way, shape, or form at this point. So in order for us to start really getting out to the masses, it's just going to be word of mouth at this point. That kind of gets us spread out.
Yes, please spread it like the herps. Tell your friends, tell your family.
You all ready for the Craigslist catastrophe?
Well, let's do it.
So this week's came out of Wanalancet, Massachusetts. It's under the Missed Connections. The title of it is Female Bicyclist on the Path. I'm sorry, it's out of Somerville, Massachusetts. To the female bicyclist riding on the community path wearing the mesh top with no bra, God bless you. Made my morning walk all that more worthwhile. This is John.
This is D Money.
Yeah, Jay's here too.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Fuck the government.
There it is.
Podcast party time, grab a seat. Every listen feels so sweet.